You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Burke. In today's episode, I'm discussing our 5-year anniversary: control, change, and thank you. Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. Here we are at episode 260. That is a lot of us connecting in this way. In fact, I did the math. I'm an English major, so I did, after all, have to break out the calculator. 5 years. It is our 5-year anniversary, and I didn't even realize it until I sat down to get this episode together. So it may be a quick one. I kind of just want to share some ideas here with you and really take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for sharing and implementing and making the changes. It matters. You matter. And wow, how it has all evolved. And it's funny to think back when I first started recording, I was in Mark's closet, legit. He has the walk-in closet in this house, and I set up shop back then on the floor, and now I have a little bit more of a professional setting in the office, and I used to pay someone to do the editing, and now it's all in-house. Mark takes care of that. So it's almost a bit of a full circle moment. And usually every 10th episode, I like to share a mentor or an interview. Today, I thought it might be fun to remind you of the concept that I've talked about here before, The Gap and the Gain, and that is actually a book by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And it's the idea that you need to take some time to look back at how far you have come in life, because so often, especially you high achievers, you like to look at the next goal and the next thing to go after, and often think about how far you have to go, right? That will be the gap, versus thinking about the gain, how far you have come. It's okay to acknowledge what you have accomplished and to be proud of yourself. In fact, that will often propel you to the next level versus trying to beat yourself up, thinking that's the only way to get yourself to the goal. It's actually okay to give yourself credit. Maybe, dare I say, embrace some grace and compassion on some days in order to keep going. And I'll be honest, when I first started, I was very much into the coach that did my training. And side note, you often hear me talk about the beauty of the word and. So many people think it's or, right? You get to use and in your life. Pay attention to where you are quick to say this or that, and where you can live more in the duality of life offering and, okay? So I loved so much of what I learned originally, and I've changed some of how I teach the concepts here because I have been able to learn so much from other mentors, including the importance of regulating your nervous system, breath work, human design, productivity coaching from a variety of teachers. I love it all, and I love incorporating it in ways for you. I do want to take a moment because I know we have some new folks here and just remind everyone kind of where this all started. In 2017, I went to coach certification training, and at that time, I thought there has to be more to life than this. I felt like I was always working, and that was my entire life, and I know that's some of you. That is why I'm here, to talk to you and to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, back then, I thought I was going to leave the job, open up a coaching practice, and do that full time. Except what happened is I learned the tools, and I continue to, in order to see that it's never the job. And I tell you that often because I want you to know the power that you have in your life. I think it has been so much fun having the opportunity to learn from coaches, books, mentors, and to share it with you. And we've had the delight of being able to interview a bunch of folks. By the way, hopefully you are also able to catch our latest series, which we just started, Impact Multipliers, where I will be interviewing a bunch of different folks on how they multiply impact in their lives. And I want you to think about that in your life. Think about the ripple effect that you are making just taking the time to listen, but not only listen, to implement the tools that I teach here in ways that work for you. I will tell you one of the biggest things that I've learned when you hear all of the experts talking, I want you to remember that the biggest expert in your life is you. And that is something that I have been hearing loud and clear over the past few years, and I want to reinforce it to you. Of course, I am here to help share ideas, to give you concepts and tools, and I love when you work with them, but I also want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that works for you in your life. Because I think one of the biggest themes as I look back here at where we've, started and where we are now, and I always want you to know, is how much control you really do have in your life. Your mindset, your energy, that is what determines and creates the life that you live. Knowing that is where you hold your power. And when I first started talking about ways to help high achieving women drink less, that's where the podcast originated, was really looking at ways to help high achieving women drink less and to feel more in control around that. And as I worked with more people and researched more, it seemed like the drinking, or for some back then it was also overeating, those were just ways to deal with the stress and overwhelm of life, not feeling like you were in control of your time. And so we moved the podcast to the It's Your Time podcast, and now talk about all the ways, all the things that you can do with your time, with your life, in order to excel in your career, to excel in your life without the stress and overwhelm. Because listen, there are so many women out there, I am convinced, that could be amazing salespeople, for example, whatever it is that you want, but oftentimes hold yourself back thinking that things, quote unquote, should be different. That is not a fact. If you hear that little whisper of something that it is you want to do, pay attention to it. It is not there just for kicks. It is there to give you some guidance. Now, let me also be clear. That does not exempt any of us, right? This mindset work and all the stuff that we do here does not exempt us from still having a human brain. And again, I went through coach training about 7 years ago, and I need to still be very intentional with this work. It just happened this past weekend, for example, and I tell you guys, I am here with you doing it, right? I received some info about our dog, Tucker, and my brain went to crazy land about how terrible it was, how I must have done something wrong, likely because I have been working late work hours. And then I had the thought, I don't know how moms do this with humans. Like, it was crazy. And then there was another layer of how I shouldn't feel worried because I don't have kids, and that's so much more important. Y'all, it was crazy town. And then I had to reel it all in. You see, we will often have that initial reaction, but then we get to decide if that's how we want to continue to react. The truth is, in the moment, I have no additional information that could tell me the story one way or the other. My brain just wanted to go to all of the negative thinking. That is usually how the brain works, and that's not a problem. The work is being intentional with paying attention to what it is you're thinking and then deciding on purpose if you want to continue to think that way. It's really making the changes and how we filter the info that comes in, to be intentional with how you spend your time, where you place your energy, doing the things that light you up, doing the things that move the needle, not just keep you busy in your life, and doing the things that move you more in the direction of creating the life that you want in a way that works for you. Have I said that enough times? Do you get the hint? You get to make the life that you want. And interestingly enough, I also totally love numerology info. So I looked up the meaning of the number 5, since we are, after all, here at our 5-year anniversary together, and found the number 5 symbolizes freedom, curiosity, and change, which can be interpreted as having the desire to have adventures and explore new possibilities. And we know from physiology that we have 5 senses: sight, smell, hearing, touch, and taste to experience the physical world. So as I close this episode, I say, let's do more of that. Explore the new possibilities. Get curious in your life. Make the changes. Enjoy the freedom. And as always, feel free to connect. I love hearing from you, and I would love for you to share this episode, any episode, of course, that you think could help someone else. I truly want to say thank you so much for being here. I look forward to all of the changes that we have yet to come together. And listen, that's what I have for you today. Let's meet back here next week. But for now, make it a great day. Take care. Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.